This is Mekus with the Continence Club. I am back with part 2 of a 3-part series. And this one is all about the gap. The gap is the epitome of what this channel is all about. Your current situation, the gap, and your desired situation are all interconnected. But the gap is really where things get real. And is what separates people, which separates you from your current and your desired situation. And we're going to talk about it today. And I promise by the end of this video, you are going to have more awareness and have a better understanding on how to bridge this gap over to your desired situation and leave that current situation that you dread so much. Now, to get started with this video, I need to break down what exactly the gap is that I talk about in all of my videos, literally. The gap is the process in which you are transitioning from your current to your desired situation. So it's that journey, that process that we like to talk about. That's literally what the gap is. And this is where things get real for you. It's always been this real. You make a couple of steps forward, you make a little progress, and then boom, you're right back to your current situation. You keep telling yourself that you're going to start tomorrow, but tomorrow comes and you're still getting overtaken by your current situation. And it almost seems like you could hardly take any action, right? It seems like you can hardly put in any more effort. And it's like you're in this consistent hamster wheel, this consistent cycle of the bad habits, of thinking of the negatives of your current situation, that you can never really seem to make tremendous progress and get to your desired situation. And so, the way I'm going to address this thoroughly in this presentation is by explaining the fact that you're just focusing on the wrong things. And this is what's keeping you in your current situation. Is you continue to start your journey, your process, over to your desired situation, your attention just isn't in the right places. And this is what essentially is holding you back. I know this is what's held me back for the longest, for a couple of achievements that I was seeking after. And the thing is, it's that at the end of the day, knowing what you want and believing your assumption will make it a fact. Believe that you need no one on the outside to aid you, right? You were made in God's image. Create. You are a creator, not a consumer, right? Create your circumstances. Don't let your circumstances create you. Let me say that again. Create your circumstances in the gap. Don't let your circumstances or the gap create you. And even in the Bible, the Lord said, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." This is Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. Even the good book talks to us about this, right? And so why do you have to be impatient, right? Why do you have to stress yourself out over the gap, over the process, like my guy here? Why does that have to be you? Where's your faith, right? And so assume things are as you want them to be, for an assumption persisted in will harden into a fact. And this is absolutely true. And you can even see it. Don't only take it from me, just look around you. Haven't you had that person, maybe you played sports, or just that person that you felt like was honestly a little arrogant, a person that was full of themselves? But guess what? A lot of these guys, especially the ones that actually put in the work, a lot of them, men and women, tend to get what it is that they want because that's how they operated. That's how they talk. That's how they walked. In reality, you're thinking, oh man, this guy's full of himself, but they just believe in themselves so much and they keep seeming to you like they're lucky. But in the reality of things, and they're doing it unconsciously, they're literally acting from their desired situation. And that's literally what you have to do in order to release your desired situation. So the process is literally you having that desire, and the gap in which I'm talking about today is the testing and transformation that you are going to be put through in order for your desired situation to be released. So what am I saying, right? What am I saying? What I'm saying is that as you work from your desired situation, you tend to get stuck in the gap, and you lose faith, you doubt, you fall back to old habits, you limit yourself, And you keep on getting tested. Maybe your car broke down. Maybe you lost your job, right? Maybe you lost your boyfriend, your girlfriend, right? Maybe your health isn't where it needs to be, right? Your relationships, your finances aren't where it needs to be. Maybe you're stressing. Whatever it is, right? All of these things are what you're dealing with in the gap, right? And along these lines, it's not for you to know how. It's for you to know that it will. And this is your desired situation that I'm referring to, right? Despite all of these things that I mentioned, all the things, the way God is testing you, right? It's not for you to know how you're going to achieve that desired situation. It's for you to know that it will happen, that you will. You have to know that you are going to get it despite the challenges that you're facing right now in the gap. I even made a video on this and I say everything happens for your benefit, because it really does. Because all of these tests is really transforming you to change your perception of your current situation so that you can achieve your desired situation, so you can get out of your current situation. You follow? So the truth is, yeah, you may be feeling confused. You may be feeling delay. You may be feeling pain, but control your mind. You are going through what you need to get to your desired situation. And let me tell you something, divine timing is real. Your breakthrough is here. And a lot of times you really just have to relax, like this guy down here, and trust the process. I know it sounds cliche. I know it might not be what you want to hear, but trust me, there's truth in that, right? And you just have to give it time. Like whenever it comes to the gap, whenever it comes to the process, you really just have to give it time. You don't want to be impatient, because God's timing is the best timing. It's the true timing. It's the divine timing, right? Just stay grateful, because whenever you're grateful for the gap and you're grateful for what you're going through and you look at it like everything is happening for your benefit, you're really speeding up that desired situation, because you're acting in the wish fulfilled, right? You're not focusing anymore on the negatives. You're not focusing anymore on that current situation. You're not focusing anymore on that man, woman that left you, right? That job that you're no longer working, your car that's no longer here because it got towed last night, right? So it's all about your perception and staying grateful and understanding that everything is happening for your benefit in the gap. And that's how you're going to see profound changes in your entire life. So essentially, when it comes to bridging the gap, to properly do so, you have to believe and just surrender to the process. You see, the gap, it might take a day, a week, a month, a few years, right? For you to get to your desired situation, but it's going to take time. And within whatever time range it is, my situation is unique. Your situation is unique. Believe and surrender to that process. The abundance that you're looking for is not merely in your desired situation, right? You would think everything you want is here. You would think that abundance is literally once you achieve that goal, right? Become that person. But the truth is, the abundance is really in the gap, and successful people know this. So what do I mean by this? Think about what you really achieved in your life. I know for me that whenever I achieve something big in my life, right, I look back, and the truth is the beauty was in that process. The beauty was in the gap. The beauty was in the times when I was down, because that's what caused me to shift and change myself to achieve my desired situation. So yeah, it's glamorous to have what it is that you want, and that knowing that you maybe got that title, that whatever it is. But the truth is, the beauty was in that process, the late nights, right? The early mornings, the sacrifice, the changing of your habits. That's why the gap is beautiful. The gap is amazing. It's your friend. It's not your enemy. So essentially, don't be deceived by appearances. Don't be deceived by your current situation. Focus on controlling your mind. Focus on controlling your inner reality, right? Which is always abundant. Always. It's omnipresent, right? 24/7, right? You are always abundant within, as long as you assume that and control your mind. So don't be concerned with your current situation so much, or you're going to stay there. That's why people around you, look at those around you that complain so much, that have that victim mentality. They never, ever progress in life. They remain in their current situation. But you decided to make a change. You decided that enough is enough. You decided that you're going to do what it takes to bridge the gap and to not be scared anymore, to remove that fear from your heart, right? To get to your desired situation. And let me tell you something. This is why you're separate. This is the reason why you can watch the video up until this point, because you take this seriously. You understand that not everybody is going to internalize this information and apply it to their life. You don't want to regret your life. You don't want to regret not bridging the gap to your desired situation, because let me tell you something, a lot of people do. They regret not living the life that they wanted to live. They lived other people's life. They let the gap create their regret, right? So remember that this gap I'm explaining to you today in this presentation is ordered and correct. Instead, fall in love with this gap, fall in love with the process, and change your entire world, right? You are not hoping for your desired situation in the gap. You are embodying your desired situation in the gap. Let me say that again. You are not hoping for your desired situation in the gap. You are embodying your desired situation in the gap. And your delay, right? This time delay, a lot of it is is due to the belief and fear that you're stuck in between. So the more you conquer yourself within, the more you shorten that time delay from your current situation to your desired situation. So that's why consistency is important. Showing up every day, right? So everything you deal with in the gap can be traced back to your own wonderful human imagination. Yes. Everything that you're dealing with in this gap can be traced to how you feel on the inside, at the deepest root of it. And it might not seem that way. You might not think that's true, but you are ultimately in control. Not the process, not the gap, not the government, not the school system, not your next door neighbor, not your back pain, not your neck pain, right? Not your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend. None of these things have control over you, right? You have control over the process. You have control over your life. You have control over the gap from your current situation to your desired situation. So the last thing I have to tell you is to bridge that gap. This is Mekus with the Continence Club. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you on the other side. And until next time, keep going.